The following is an example of how we would pull down a file from Canvas onto our host client, send it over to the DSL server using PuTTY, creating a private key, then a public key, and then encrypting the file, taking that file and then copying it back using PuTTY. And again, what we're copying back is the encrypted file. Notice that the encrypted file is using the public key from the student. The student creates this. And we're also sending back the private key. Now the reason why we're doing that is because once you send that back in your assignment, my TA, who is a lot better looking than this guy right here, will then take that file and then decrypt it using the private key that you sent. So you can see here that he's decrypting the encrypted file, which was used the public key to encrypt, and the result is this file. Now I'm not going to show you the PuTTY copy back because I'm just going to do it on the local system, but I'll show you exactly how all this stuff works. So the first thing we want to do is we want to look at our file, and we see I have a clear text file here. If I type this file, you can see that it has the text, "This is a secret." Now what I want to do is I'm going to use PuTTY because the console is a lot smaller in VMware. So let's use PuTTY. So I'm starting up PuTTY, and it's located in my download directory. And if you notice here, I've already kind of configured my firewall, and I suggest that you do this as well. I have an entry for OpenSense firewall. If I load this, it'll automatically load the IP address that I want to connect to. And all I had to do there was I had to give it a name, and I had to give it the IP address and then say save, and then it's in here forever. So let's open this. Now again, it's root, OpenSense, and once you're in here, what I want to do is I want to go to the shell. Now I'm going to create two brand new directories. The first directory I'm going to create is example. The second directory I'm going to create is TA, and this is where I'm going to put the resultant files so I can show you how to decrypt. Now if I do an ls, we'll see that I have created TA and example, as well as I have a number of other directories that I've created earlier. So let's move this over here, and what I want to do is go to the example directory, and you can see that there's no files there. So what I want to do is I want to copy over this great file that I have. Again, it's clear text, knowing that my secure copy is located in the top level directory with a download directory here. And what I'm going to copy is that clear text file, and I'm going to copy it to my root at 192.168.78.2:/example. Now what this does is it puts it in this example directory, and that's exactly where I want to work on it. I have to type the password, and it should have made it over there. Let's see if that's true. ls shows me that the file is there. ls-long shows me the characteristics of the file. So now what I want to do is I've created a new file, and that's exactly what I've done here. Step 2 was moving that file over to the DSL server. That's exactly where I am now. Step 3 is to create the private and public keys. So let's go and do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this down so I can see the command here. So inside of here, what I want to do is in open SSL gen RSA-out private key BJG, that's me, PEM, and I'm going to make it 1024. So this creates the private key, and that's exactly this command that I did here. The next thing I want to do is create the public key, and again that's still in step 3. So let's go about and do that. So we get open SSL RSA, we use the input of our private key, we use the output, which is our public key, and the output form is a PEM form. PEM form is a very common form for Linux Unix, and if you notice here I also have to put the pub out. Now this is going to create my public key. Now if I do an ls, we can see that I have my keys. ls.long shows the characteristics of each one of these keys. So pretty easy to do, right? Now in this example, I'm telling you to create a file by catting or echoing to the encrypted text. I don't need to do that because I have a file that I wanted you to encrypt. So what we're going to then do is we're going to encrypt the file using this command. So let's go ahead and do that. So it's OpenSSL rsutil -encrypt -n key, and notice here that the n key is my public key, right? Not my private key, it's my public key. And the reason for that is because we would have given this public key to somebody else, someone that we trusted. And what they're doing is they're going to encrypt using our public key and then send it to us, and then we'll decrypt. Okay, so that's generally how this whole thing works. And the input that I'm going to put is the file that I want to encrypt. The output that I'm going to put is the encrypted portion. And I'm going to call it EncryptText.text. And this will encrypt my file. Now if we do an ls.long, we can see that we have both the clear text. Let's type it and see what happens. Again, we use cat to type. So clear text would look like this. And you can see where it is. This is a secret. Don't tell anybody. Now when I try to cat my encrypted text, what's going to happen is it's going to mess up my screen a little bit. Hopefully I won't lose anything. So you can see here that it's encrypted text. So what I want to do then is I want to copy the, and again let's pull this back up and let's pull this up. I want to copy the public key results of the encrypted file. So again, I use my public key and I encrypted this file. So I'm going to copy up this encrypted file as well as the private key. And then my TA is going to decrypt it. Well, we're not going to do that part. Again, that would allow me to pull it down onto my host and then bring it back up. All I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the two files that I need into the TA directory. So the way I copy is I use CP and ..forward, CP encrypted text ..forward TA, and that's going to copy the encrypted text into my TA directory. I'm also going to copy my private key into the TA directory, and now we have it. So I'm going to CD to that very directory, do an ls, do an slong, and you can see here where I have the two files that I want. Now this is what my TA is doing right down here. So what he's going to do then is he's going to decrypt this. And the way that he decrypts it is by using this command. So let's try it out. OpenSSL rsutil decrypt now, not encrypt. The input is going to be my private key, and the input file is going to be my encrypted file. The output file is going to be my clear text.text file. And now let's decrypt it. Now again, ls.long, we can see that I created this clear text file. That wasn't in there before, right? We looked up here and we saw encrypted but no decrypt. Now we have a clear text file. If I cat the clear text file, there's my secret text. So that's exactly what we're trying to accomplish in this assignment.